I think a lot of people, I think this is like a big thing that stops people from keeping like that up level going and going and going, or even just having that first level up, like really claiming, yes, I am worth this, I deserve this, whether it's like going out in the world in a new way, putting your gifts out there, whether it's claiming a new income level. Did you have to go through this, or what would you say is your best advice for someone that's experiencing this kind of like, oh, I don't think I'm worthy of charging this, or putting my gifts out there, or people that are experiencing imposter syndrome? Because for me, every time I step into a new level, it's usually about, oh, I'm worth this. Like, it's about like really believing, oh yeah, I can do this, I am enough, I am worthy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody goes through this. I think that if you're human, living in this full human sensory experience, and you're growing rapidly, I think there's always layers to shift through and to look at. And ultimately, we do receive in this reality what we do believe we're deserving and worthy of at the core. So there's two things I'd be looking at here under the surface. Firstly, whenever I would, for example, in the past, I go, okay, cool, I want to increase my rates to this. And then I'd feel the, and who's going to pay that anyway? And all the stories, right? I would catch that, and I would just ask myself, okay, what am I more unconsciously committed to? Because our unconscious commitments under the surface will always drive us in whatever direction we're more unconsciously committed to. So when I started asking that question, it was like, well, am I more unconsciously committed to increasing my rates and earning my value and being of service in this way? Or interesting, am I more unconsciously committed to what people are going to think about me? Because at the core of this, I'm worried that I'm going to be judged. Or am I more unconsciously committed to the scarcity of running an old program, saying like, oh, no one would pay that? What am I unconsciously committed to? Because the minute you see that and you bring that into your conscious awareness, you can be like, oh, well, that's not cool. I don't want to be committed to that. I'm going to choose to realign my commitments consciously and intentionally. So that would be the first piece. And then in terms of the imposter syndrome as well, and I think most people would be, very aware of that term and the thoughts in your head that show up and tell you you're not enough and tell you all these mean, nasty stories that you would never say to anyone else to their face. It's really important if and when that happens to simply ask yourself, stop and be aware, and just ask yourself, is this mine? Really? Like, is this thought mine? Is this my thought? Is this thought my highest self? Is this thought from my soul? Is this thought God speaking through me? I don't think so. Well, then if it's not mine, what is it? And where does it come from? And more often than not, it can be lower light energies. It can be beings that are stuck in the astral realm. It can literally be entities that have just attached yourself to your field because you went down to a shopping mall and there was a lot of heavy energy, and now you just brought some of that back. Clear yourself, clean yourself, clear your body, clear your mind. Do what you need to do to purge out your unconscious. Maybe journal and just get all the bullshit out of your head. Speak gibberish, right? If you're aware of this as an ancient tool, just blah, 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 right? And go for it. Like, shake your body, shake your head, get your unconscious mind processing it out. It sounds so crazy, but I promise you, if you do this for 2 minutes without stopping, you'll be like, I have no thoughts in my head. Because that's your natural state of stillness. That's your natural state of just being in direct connection with God, or your experience with God, or the universe, or the creator, whatever label it is, right? And so it's catching that and not buying into the story that that's you. Because most people will even say, oh, and I tell myself that I'm not enough. And I tell, no, you're not telling. Is that really you? Is that you? Is that your thought?
Yes.
Not your thought. What the hell is that? Because that gets to go, because that does not belong in your field. And as a true sovereign being, you don't tolerate that. You don't allow that. In fact, this is your house, this is your field, and anything not aligned to light of the highest frequency needs to be out now. And I don't care if you sage it, or if you run around, or if you jump in the pool naked. Do whatever you need to do to move your body and move your system, move your mind, and clear that. But it does not get to hang out in your home. You wouldn't let some random stranger into your home and just let them drink alcohol in the corner and start screaming at you and abusing you. You'd be like, get out of my home. You're in my home. Right? So take personal responsibility for that, and don't judge yourself for it. It's very easy. It's easy to be at an event with a whole lot of people, and then I'm about to go on stage and I feel myself do I know what I'm going to say? I'm doubting my keynote. Whoa, is this mine? No. Okay, I'm just in a room with 2,000 people. Let me clear myself before I get on stage. Handle that. right? It doesn't make you immune when you get to a certain point in your purpose or impact or service. It means that you just have more tools and you're faster at utilizing them and catching them. That's the only difference, right?
So true, so good. And I think it is like fine tuning what is around me that like energetically is not a vibrational match for where I'm aligning myself to. And this is why like I've always said like I think environment is plays such a huge part in your energy. Like I'm so sensitive to like the spaces that I'm in, where I'm spending my time, what is inspiring me, like how much of my life inspires me, because if I want to be inspiring others, I have to inspire myself, right? And the people that are around me, like who I'm spending time with, even just like things like who I'm following on Instagram, like what my feed is, all of this has such an impact on our energy systems, right? And can either be fueling us and nourishing us and aligning us for where we want to be, or it can be like infiltrating our system with these low light energies that you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you bring out this piece of environment because it is so important. And we've probably all heard the quote, you become the sum of the five people that you hang around the most. And that is true financially, but that's true in every area of your life. If you're hanging around people that are super disconnected from their body and eating horrible food every day, then yeah, you're going to be influenced by the resident frequency that those people are holding, or it's going to be extremely difficult not to be influenced by them. So firstly, it's not just the five people. Firstly, it's not just financial, it's every area. And it's your whole environment. I love that you brought up the Instagram feed, right? Because especially now, people might not so much even be in in-person environments that much with people with this phase which we're in right now. Many big live events have been shut down and many borders are closed. And so many people may even just be with themselves and they're like, oh, my environment's good. I've just got myself and my partner. I'm good. Well, how's your feed? How's your news feed, and how much time are you spending scrolling it? Because all of that counts, and all of that is energy flooding into your system. So I would recommend that people go in and just take stock on that and clean up anything that doesn't feel super high vibe, that doesn't feel amazing. And, when I first started working on my environment, I think it was like 12 years ago or something, I really got this concept, and it was more in person and some family and things like that. And I went on the biggest environment purge ever. And I kind of released from people, distanced from people, cut from people. I was like, no, that's not the vibe. No, I don't enroll to that. No, you don't support my dreams. Cut. And then I turned around and I was like, now there's just me. This is kind of weird. And then a story kicked in. I've been told at one point, it's lonely at the top, Regan. And I heard that little voice and I was like, no, that's not the story I want to write. Is this mine? No, that's not mine. That's from some family member. That's from some story. That's not mine. That's not my soul speaking through me. Yeah. And that's when I decided not just to clean and clear my environment, to firstly be okay in the nothingness of my environment, find my own wholeness. And then thirdly, from the place of working on my environment, intentionally work to create an amazing environment, call in the high vibe people, be surrounded by friends and family and beloveds that I love dearly and that are in that vibration. And I'm not going to lie, that took me some time. There were many moments where I was like, and now it's Regan again. But I was also okay with it. I would prefer that than 20 friends that, were great, but weren't fully seeing me and my greatness and weren't fully supportive of my dreams. And I knew I couldn't go and tell them something because it would make them feel not enough. And I didn't want to go into that cycle, So it can take some work, but for people that are committed to it and you do this, online and also offline, it's so rewarding because when you step into that third layer, you just become a magnet for other amazing high vibe people to come towards you. Like Mel and I magnetized each other, right? Like when we were in this place, like we went through this place in Bali, and then we went in our own visions and our own journeys, and then we came back and it was like, ching, it was like, of course we get to hang out. Of course we get to be friends. Of course we get to be in beautiful sync, right? Because of the vibration, which we both hold. And it was a no-brainer. It was like, yeah, of course I'd love to hang out with you and have dinner, right? Versus, if one of us had decided to not do the work or hang out or go a different path or like still be hustling, we probably would be like, cool, love you, but not really wanting to go deep and hang out. And that's also okay, right? So you're the creator of your reality. Look at where you're at on this cycle. For some of you listening, it may be like, okay, time to clean up, time to spring clean the community and the environment and the news feeds and the house and the family and the relationship and that thing over there that I'm tolerating. For some of you, you may be in the nothingness of being like, And then there was one, which is
Yeah.
sit in that until you find wholeness in it, because it's from this wholeness that you recalibrate into the place where you become a beacon for high vibe people to magnetize towards you. And some of you are in the third phase where you've done a lot of work in your environment, and now you're just like, cool, let me magnetize the most epic humans towards me and live the best life ever with them, right? But it's a continuous cycle. It really is.